on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Checkwitz. This is the Kaged Review, and this is my review for The Wolverine, the movie directed by James Mangold. I gotta be honest, man. So far, I think in the X-Men series, we're probably 3 and 2. 3 good movies, and then 2 really not great movies at all. X1, X2, and First Class being the good movies, and of course, The Last Stand and Origins Wolverine being the terrible movies. And so when I heard that they were doing another Wolverine movie, I was very, very hesitant based on what we know about Origins. But I gotta say that this was a much better movie all the way around. You have Hugh Jackman coming back as Logan Wolverine. Famke Janssen has a lot of cameo parts in here as Jean Grey Phoenix. I'm not Japanese, so I hope I don't butcher these names. I'm gonna give them a shot. You have Haruhiko Yamanouchi as Yoshida. Ken Yamamura as young Yoshida. You have Rila Fukushima as Yukio. Teo Okamoto as Mariko. Hiroyuki Sanada as Shinjin. Brian T. as Noburo. And Svetlana Kochken. Give me a second with this one. Svetlana Kodchenkova as Viper. That's a mouthful. And Will Yun Lee as Harada. So, this is the story post everything that we've seen so far. This is actually a sequel in terms of it is after the events of X-Men The Last Stand. Hugh Jackman goes to Japan where he was asked to come there by Yoshida. Yoshida, you get a flashback where I think it's maybe World War II or Vietnam. I don't know. Somewhere in there, probably World War II is Japan. Where a young Yoshida is about to commit suicide because he's about to get bombed. And Wolverine drags him down a well and covers him, saves his life. And then Yoshida turns out to get a lot of money throughout his lifetime. And he becomes somewhat of a scientist. And so he's working on ways of extending his life. And so as he is dying, Yoshida, he summons Wolverine, and he sends Yukio to go grab him, and he offers him a choice. He's like, I know you want to die. Long life is a curse. It can certainly be, it has been rough for you, so I'm going to give you an out. I can take away your immortality, take away your mutation, and in return, you'll get to live a full life, but you'll grow old and you'll die like every other person. And so that's kind of what happens. He winds up taking Wolverine's ability, and so now Wolverine is very vulnerable, and he can get hurt in these fight scenes that he has going on. And so Yoshida's daughter is set to take over his operation, and in place of his son. Usually we go to his son, but Yoshida wasn't entirely happy with his son, so now there's this family war, and Wolverine is trying to save Yoshida's daughter, who is kind of also a love interest in this movie. And so that actually creates for some very good scenes, some very good fight scenes. Initially you have a fight scene where the Yakuza are coming into this ceremony for Yoshida's daughter, and they try to kidnap her. And it leads into some very cool stuff. There's a scene where there's a bullet train that they take, and these guys are trying to infiltrate the bullet train. And so there's a fight with Wolverine and these Yakuza on top of this bullet train, and it's very fast-paced, a lot of very quick action, and it looked really, really, really good. And when the impacts hit, man, it looks like you get hit. And there were other things about this movie that I kind of liked. They probably used as much blood as you could for a PG-13 movie. Like, they really pushed the envelope there, for sure. And so I really liked that. Everything in this movie was kind of cool, though. They had a really good storyline here with Yoshida and Wolverine and the relationship dynamic there. The Wolverine, dealing with the own aspects of his own mortality. I really liked that. And it was just some good character work as well, man. Some really good acting. So it did get a little bit cheesy toward the end when you had the Rise of the Silver samurai, and that kind of went a little bit comic bookish, you know. But other than that, I thought it was a very, very fun, much better sequel than X-Men Origins Wolverine. That is for sure. So at the end of the day, you find out that Yoshida's kind of lost sight, and he's turned into this kind of, you know, evil character, and he's trying to make himself immortal at really anybody's cost. And so they have to take him out, and that's kind of the synopsis of the movie. And so you do get a mid-credit scene with Ian McKellen as Magneto and Patrick Stewart, of course, Professor X. They both come out together. They kind of freeze time like you've seen in other movies. And they tell Wolverine that they need his help because something major is about to happen. And that, of course, leads right into X-Men Days of Futures Past. So, I mean, at this point in the X-Men franchise, I just said we were 3 for 2, and now I kind of feel like we're 4 for 2, because I do feel like this was a pretty good movie. I really do. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm at. If I had to grade it, I would give it an 8 out of 10. So that's kind of where I'm at with things. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz, Kaged Nation, out.